All right, so if my theory is correct that indeed atoms follow the same physical rules and laws as space does, then Albert Einstein's proof of the theory of relativity would impact how we live our lives as well on Earth and even in atoms, right? So the speed at which something moves impacts the way it perceives time. So think, when you first start driving at 16 years old, 15 years old, everything feels fast, right? This is the first time you're going this fast, first time you're in control of going this fast, and it seems like everything moves so fast. You can't really perceive a difference. Like, you can't perceive what creates change, because you're moving is creating a change in the environment around you because you're changing your perspective every time you move your sensors, right? But you can't perceive it as fast, so everything seems really fast. And then you start driving faster and faster, and I have fallen into driving pretty fast. And when you get used to driving at these speeds, incredibly fast speeds compared to what you were once used to, it's incredible how everything around you slows down, right? So you can get used to going any speed. That's the crazy thing. And once you get used to it, you start noticing changes at that speed at a rate in which you could not do before. Think relativity. So if you're used to going 100 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour, depending on what it is up there, and then you start going 40 miles an hour, following what everyone else is used to, they feel like everything is going fast, but you literally perceive everything as slower. So you can kind of notice change, notice patterns in traffic at a rate in which someone who's used to driving at 40 miles an hour, simply the brain doesn't do, it's not used to doing. So those neural pathways, which comes down to electricity, that forges itself, that like builds pathways, the more you use it, the more electricity output is in one particular area of your brain. The more you do that, the more the difference, your perception of change and of speed and time, like Berkeley said, ironically, that, what's his name, priest dude from France, can really change how you perceive the world, how you perceive the speed of certain things. So maybe what he was saying was right about the units of measurement, right? The units of measurement can measure how fast something is moving, but not how fast you can perceive its movement and how fast it appears to you. I truly wonder, Formula One race car drivers going 200 miles an hour. This is going to be an interesting experiment. Formula One race car drivers used to driving their whole life and seeing the world at such an incredible speed that none of us even get up to in our lifetime at all. And then take someone who hasn't driven yet or is just starting driving, and then do a series of neurological tests and barriers and measure their levels of perception of the speeds of objects, and maybe even change. Think memory game. Changing things rapidly and seeing their ability to decipher the change from one to another. I personally don't know what this would mean, exactly the implications of it, but I do think that, I'm not a physicist, I do think that relativity is usually used to describe phenomenon that are macroscopic, that are huge, that are planets moving, right? Relativity. But we don't really think about how it can affect our day-to-day lives. We think that we neglect its ability to change our perception, right? So if this is true, if that experiment does indeed prove that going faster allows you to perceive change faster, what does this mean in the ability of understanding in other fields, right? How can this perception of change, this rapid perception of change, impact our ability to make discoveries in other fields? Who knows, but only one way to find out.